I'm trying to get my video to work.
Oh, like the thing on the.
Oh, the camera's closed.
There you go.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. I shouldn't admit to it, but I did the same thing. I had my camera closed.
This is my husband's computer. He's like, open the thing. How are y'all?
We good.
We good.
Good, me too. 6 more Mondays. Woohoo.
Oh,
And
until
school's out.
school's over.
What's that?
Yes. Woo!
Yeah, those teachers and their summer vacations.
I'm teaching summer school this year,
Oh,
right? Does put a
Well,
real damper on my fun having.
Yeah, but you're buying new Mercedes, so there you are.
Oh yeah, Mercedes. I drive a 2015 Toyota Corolla.
Braggart.
Oh, brother. It has nothing automatic. Not even the transmission.
Those things will drive forever, though.
I know, and I can go so fast on my little 6-speed.
Nice. All right. Well, it looks like it's 6 o'clock, so we'll go ahead and call the Planning Commission meeting to order for April 13th, 2021. And to get started, I'd like to read a statement that says, I, Ryan Cowley, Chair of the Roy City Planning Commission, and in accordance with Utah Code Section 52-3-2074, have determined that conducting a meeting in the Roy City Council chambers presents a substantial risk to the health and safety of those who would be present. The basis for this determination is that due to the infectious nature and potentially dangerous health effect of contracting the COVID-19 virus, there is not sufficient space in the council chambers to provide appropriate safe physical distancing and the safety for the safety of the individuals who would attend. Accordingly, the April 13th, 2021 meeting will be held electronically without an anchor location. With that, we'll go ahead and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and Commissioner Payne will lead us in that.
Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our first item of business, are there any conflicts to be declared?
No,
No. No.
Okay, we'll move on to item number 2, which is the approval of the March 9th, 2021 regular meeting minutes. Does anyone have any changes that they need to have made in there?
No, I move that we approve the minutes from March 29th as written.
Right, so we have a motion to approve. Is there a second? Was that Jason?
Yes.
Okay, we'll go with Commissioner Spar, and then Samantha, if you want to do the next one, that would be great. All in favor of approving the March 9th minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, motion passes unanimously. On the next item is the approval of the March 23rd, 2021 work session minutes. Are there any comments or discussions, or if not, we can entertain a motion there.
I'll make a motion to, oh, sorry.
go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the March 23rd, 2021 work session minutes as stated in the work session minutes.
Is there a second?
I second it.
All right, Commissioner Brown seconded it. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion is also unanimous. So let's go ahead and we'll move on to the next section. The first item up on the agenda is to consider a request for the site plan and architectural approval for Holiday Oil located at approximately 4328 West, 5500 South. And do we have the applicant on the line, Steve?
We have one of them. We got Brent Neal. Brent, you just unmute yourself and you should be able to introduce yourself to everybody.
Okay, so I'm actually John Linton. I'm representing Holiday Oil, and Brent Neal is to my left. So thank you, and sorry for the applause there while we got it unmuted and turned the video on.
John, what was your last name again?
Linton, Linton.
Okay.
All right, well, welcome to our meeting. If you'd go ahead and just tell us a little bit about your project and what you've got going on there, that would be great.
Yeah, thank you for the time. So like I said, I represent Holiday Oil. I'm their general counsel, and Brent Neal is our project manager. Earlier this year, we made the decision to expand to Davis and Weber County because Holiday Oil has operated since 1964 in Utah County and Salt Lake County. We're currently building our 67th location in those counties, but we want to come up north. I live in Centerville, and I'm sick of going to Spanish Fork and Salem. So it's nice to be up here in this neck of the woods. But Holiday Oil is a family-owned and operated company. It still is. They're currently going from the first generation to the second generation owners. And yeah, we primarily we've got a convenience store, fuel pumps, and car wash at all our new locations. And we're just excited to come up into this growing area and hopefully be a part of your city.
Great, thank you. Do you want to walk us through the site plan just a little bit as well on that? That's a great overview. We definitely appreciate that.
Sure, yeah. So when we look at a new site, what we want to find is, like I said, somewhere with a growing population on a hard corner that is zoned appropriately. When I say appropriately, we like to find a piece of ground that's already zoned commercial and a permitted use for what we're going to be doing there. And so we came to this corner and also the one to the south of it. And after looking at both and considering both, we went under contract on this property here. So we're very excited to have an access off of 5500 South and another one off of 4300 West. Our site plan, as you can see here, shows a car wash on the west end, our convenience store with the rear of it to the north and facing south, and a fuel canopy, as you can see there. We also try to put all the amenities we can into a station that people look for, an RV dump, air that we offer for free, and all those amenities. One thing we also do on the east side of this convenience store, you'll see a little patio looking area where we'll put a pergola with some tables for people to eat on if they'd like.
All right, thank you. Do any of the commissioners have questions for him? Okay, Steve, do you want to take just a minute and talk about things from your perspective, and then we can have a discussion on it?
Okay, so as mentioned, this is a site plan and architectural approval of the Holiday Oil there at 4328 West, 5500 South. As John had kind of mentioned, it's on the northeast corner or northwest corner, sorry, of 4300 South and 55. Yeah, it's currently zoned community commercial. So convenience stores or C-stores are permitted use within that. Site plan wise, as you see here, he's kind of already described it, so I don't need to go any further with that. Does have the access. UDOT has granted a single access off of there, which they'll share with anybody that's to the west of them in lot 3. Again, that's the area that's got the Howard Slough going through it, but they will share that access point. At the top left corner, you see kind of some blue lines. That is the slough. So their property abuts up against the 30-foot requirement. So they're not going to disturb anything of the slough or near the slough. In fact, it just all be landscaping, so no hardscape will be in there. So there won't be any requirements to go through the Army Corps of Engineers or the State Engineer's Office. But again, depending on how things are, we'll get to that if needs be. But this site doesn't or won't alter that slough in any way. Building wise, it looks like it will be constructed completely of brick. Kind of get a general idea of the front here and sides with a large pitched roof and a portion of the building that jets out for the entrance. Then you got the rear of the building and the other side. In your packet, I also included the car wash. This was part of our, you would have had this earlier if we had our attorney looking at it, because as you know, the council removed car washes 100% from the ordinance as a permitted use. But this is an accessory use. So it's not the primary, as you see on the site plan, even though it is kind of towards the front, it is not a primary use. So a gas station, just like a canopy and a fuel station, are accessory to the C-store, and accessory uses are allowed. So we wanted to make sure legally that we didn't run into any problems. So here we are presenting that.
Thank you for answering my question, Steve.
Hey, don't worry. We were all over it a couple months ago. So
All righty.
we wanted to make sure that we didn't run into any legal problems or any questions of that. Staff would recommend approving both the site plan and the architect's review with the usual conditions of the DRC review comments being satisfied in any conditions that are talked about in this meeting. So any questions for me?
I think you answered my big one. So,
Okay.
Any discussion among the commissioners about this project? If not, we can entertain a motion. Well, two motions. Is anyone? Oh, go
Yeah, I'm
ahead.
slightly confused. Isn't this agenda item 4?
It is.
Isn't there only one motion?
No, there's two, because you got
The site plan and the
site
architectural.
plan.
There's yes, sir, I remember now. Okay, I make a motion to approve the site plan as stated in the agenda and is discussed at this meeting.
Right. Do we have a second to that motion?
I'll second it.
Right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, that was unanimous. We can entertain the second motion on this one for the architectural plan.
I move we approve the architectural, give architectural approval for Holiday Oil located at 4328 West, 5500 South, as stated in the agenda and discussed in the meeting.
All right, is there a second to the motion?
I'll second.
Thanks, Commissioner Bills. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? Okay, I rule that passes unanimously. So we'll go on to agenda item number 5.
Thank you very much,
Brent,
everybody. I
John.
really appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on. Thank you. This will be a good addition to Roy.
And I'd like to just say too, that I've really appreciated working with your staff. They've been phenomenal getting us ready for this, so.
How much did he pay you to say that?
Just a couple refill cards on the drinks is awesome.
All right, you're good.
All right. right, agenda item 5 is, let me pull that up here real quick. A request for a site plan. This is just the site plan. Is that correct, Steve? No architectural on this one? For PPP Roy Track Development at approximately 2550 West, 4300 South. And do we have the applicant here with us?
We have both of them. We got both Josh Wilson and Matt Peterson.
All right, well, welcome Matt and Josh. Steve will get you set up here, and once he does, if you'd like to introduce yourselves and then kind of walk us through your project, that would be awesome.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Can't see you, but we can hear you.
Saw you for a brief second.
I'm not sure why the video's not working. Trying to figure that out. But this site plan is for 5 acres of storage units, and maybe that's going to work. 5 acres of open storage. We had a restriction to keep the height on the buildings under around 30 feet. So this was just showing how the layout on the storage units would be. And didn't know what questions you guys might have about that, but this is just kind of the layout that would fit the most units.
And how many total units are you planning on fitting into that area?
There are approximately, let me get that pulled up really quick. Our plans are to eventually take the other 5 acres and do storage units there. But on the initial 5 acres, I had it pulled up. Sorry, when the screen changed to put the camera on, it took my plans away. Fun stuff.
So is it about 850 like is on the document? Is that kind of roughly I just want to make sure I do my math right.
Yes, exactly. I didn't know if you needed an exact number though.
No, that's good.
Okay.
Do any of the other commissioners have any questions for the applicant? Okay, Steve, we'll turn it over to you for just a second to talk us through things from your perspective.
Okay, this is for site plan approval. I don't know if this is their real name for it, but it was just what was on the side of the plans of PPP Roy Track Development at approximately 2550 West, 4300 South. This property's kind of been discussed several times, just in between the DNRG Trail and the railroad tracks, UTA and Union Pacific, as identified here. Site plan wise, again, storage units, both inbuilt, enclosed, and air are a permitted use within the zone. So we're looking just for a site plan there. As mentioned within the staff report, there are a few things that they'll need to come, abide by ordinance wise, but I don't think that would change the site plan enough. All it would do is probably add landscaping and might remove a few of the open air and a few of the enclosed storage units. But again, numbers allowed isn't talked about in the zone. It's just a matter of what the use is and then whatever they can get in within the requirements of the ordinance. So I don't foresee the DRC comments changing a lot of the site plan that would make it a requirement to come back. They will, once they do get the building elevations kind of figured out and what they're doing, then we'll bring that back. But site plan wise, it's staff would recommend approval.
Thanks, Steve. And with this, I mean, obviously they'll have to come back for the architectural. Is there anything that they can do in the meantime until the architectural plan is approved, or is this something maybe that would be good just to pass together? Or
no, you can pass them separate again because it is a separate motion, and what they can do is now just kind of finalize what the site plan will look like. That might modify some of the buildings just because of landscaping requirements, but it won't modify them enough that, all of a sudden you're redesigning the whole thing. It just might be removing, a number of them, and it might be in the middle, it might be in the sides, it might be however, but this will at least allow them to finalize what the site plan looks like, and then they can come back later with the buildings.
Okay, any other questions or discussion from the commissioners? All right, we can entertain a motion on the site plan.
I make a motion that we approve the site plan of PPP Roy Track Development, approximately 2550 west, 4300 south. Recommend approval with the conditions that were laid out in the report.
Thank you, Commissioner Payne. Do we have a second to the motion?
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the motion passes. Thank you, Matthew, for being on here with us. We appreciate that. And we'll see you again on the architectural plan soon.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much.
Have a good evening. All right, the next item on the agenda is the request for architectural approval for the Old Town Laundromat. And do we have Joe on here with us, Steve?
Well, I know I saw him. Now it's just a matter of getting my fingers to get all the clicks right.
If not, you can just rename somebody, right?
Okay, Joe is now on, and Joe, go ahead and unmute
All right, you guys there?
Yep.
We are. We can hear you, Joe.
All right, there I am. All right, can y'all see me now?
We can. We appreciate you being here tonight. If you want to take just a minute and kind of walk us through what you're doing there with the Old Town Laundromat, that'll be awesome.
Yeah, it's so it's a little building that sits in front of it's been vacant a while. I think it used to be like a check to cash place. We bought it a couple of years ago, and we kind of got bogged down with a few other projects, and now we're ready to we actually already got approval a couple of years ago on this, but from you guys on what we were going to do on the outside. But we had a few, COVID hit, and that kind of took over everybody's life for a little while there. But we had a few other projects, but now we want to begin and get this thing going again. But yeah, it's just a little building. Used to be check to cash. We're going to turn it into a really, really nice laundromat. Old Town Laundries are known to be probably the nicest, like the biggest chain of laundromats in Utah, at least, and hands down the nicest. We typically make them really nice, above and beyond what you would normally see at a laundromat. Something that a normal homeowner would like to go to as well, besides just apartment dwellers and people that travel down I-15 like to use our places as well. So but specifically, we want to redo the outside of the property with a few different materials. I think I have, let me see, I'm not really sure how to share everything with you. Oh, there's that.
And I can stop sharing mine, and if you want to share yours, because I know you had a bunch of pictures that.
Yeah, let me see. Can you guys see this or no?
No, we.
Okay, let me, I'm not sure how to share stuff, but I looked into it a little before I started, and let's see.
So when you click down below in the Zoom, it says share screen and a green button, and then it'll ask
there it is.
what screen you want to share. There we go.
There, okay. So there, so this, I don't think this is actually the exact one. Let me go to right here. This would be it. So this is what I believe, Steve, this is the one that we have up for approval, the exact design of how it'll look on the outside. But it's kind of hard to see with the what the architect has put here, but this the gray material on the outside, these windows are existing, so we'll probably just redo those with some nice aluminum, you know, commercial aluminum type windows. Same with the doors. But the gray material on the outside is a corrugated steel, but it's not like a cheap corrugated steel. It's the really nice deep sea channel corrugated steel that is gray, commercial grade, very nice. It's not really built for roofs. It's not that type of corrugated steel. It's what we typically like to use. I think I have an example of it for you. Let's scroll through a few. Here's one. This is one in Ogden. It's actually really similar to this one that we put together. Anyway, you could see the corrugated steel there. And it's with the lights on at nighttime and everything. Anyway, so that's really similar to what it'll look like. But to my understanding, Roy needs 3 materials. So we planned on doing shiplap up on the parapet of the property where the sign will be, you know, where the Old Town Laundromat sign is. So that'll be a wood colored shiplap, like a stained wood, but it's a special material that's supposed to last a long, long time. And then below that, obviously, is the steel. And then you go down to the skirt of the building, or the wainscot. That'll be a board on batten type material. So, and that's pretty much it. There's not a lot. I mean, we'll do some landscaping, obviously, where the existing lawn is. But right now it's brick at the skirt of the building. Somebody ran into it with a car in the past 6 months or something. And anyway, so we want to replace that with this board on batten material. It already has a skirt, so we would just replace that material with the board on batten. So I think that's about it.
Thank you. One question I have is, you have the stairs going up to the doors. Is there an ADA accessible entrance to the building?
No, there's not.
And is that a requirement, Steve, for a building like this to have an ADA accessible entrance?
Not from you. The building department may require it, but again, that's a building code question rather than a planning question.
Yeah, just something I noticed. So
yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions from any of the other commissioners?
It's an improvement over what's there.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
All right, Steve.
It's
go ahead.
It's a fairly small laundromat. We'll have fairly large machines there for, like I said, homeowners, community, not just apartment dwellers to use. There'll be big, nice commercial machines that will fit big comforters and all sorts of big stuff. We might even have a separate one for horse blankets and stuff like that, because I know out in Hooper and stuff, you got people that have horse properties. And so, but I think that's about all I have to add. So.
Yeah, hours of operation going to be? Do you have any idea on that already?
Sorry, what was that?
Hours of operation?
Sorry, say that again.
The hours of operation, I think, is what she's asking about.
Sorry about that. It'll be 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. is what we typically do. And we always have an alarm system as well.
Okay, Steve, we'll turn it over to you for a few minutes and
Joe,
listen to what you have to say.
Unshare?
What was that?
Can you unshare your screen?
Oh, yeah. Let me go down. See how to do this.
It should be a red.
Got to get back onto this screen here. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh, there it is. Stop share. There we go. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so as you see, this is kind of the original or the current look of the building. As you mentioned, someone had run into it and kind of broken up the brick. A couple years, as you mentioned, a couple years ago, you did approve this, even with the metal, because we were in the process of changing the ordinance to allow metal to be an approved use. So now, with that ordinance having been approved, it's not an exception anymore. It's an allowed thing. He mentioned that the requirements require 3. It's actually just 2. So wood is one that's allowed,
okay.
and metal is another one. Just one can't be more than 80%. So by breaking up, as they're showing here, neither one of the materials is more than 80%. So it does meet the ordinance. In the staff report, and I don't know, Joe, if you had a moment to read that, because it has been vacant for a long time, some nonconformities have lapsed. That was the parking area. So within the staff report, it kind of mentions that the one parking stall in front on the east side of the building would have to be removed and just replaced with landscaping. But I can get with Joe on the exact when we finalize everything. But other than that, I mean, if the building department requires a ADA compliant thing, they'll just be part of what the building department would require, and it would just be in the front somewhere, whether it be going east or west of the building. It won't change much to the site plan to require to come back to the planning commission of any sort. Again, because it is a requirement, so that would supersede anything you have to approve. So again, if the building department requires it, then it just becomes something that they'll have to do to finalize that. So staff would recommend approval of the site plan and the architect as stated in the staff report.
Does anybody have any questions? So the parking lot to the east of that would be removed, Steve?
It's a single stall, just right in here. Our requirement along 1900 West is 15 feet. You can't get the building to move because it does have, even though it's been vacant, it has non-conforming rights as it is with the setback that it has. So it would just be a matter of just putting landscaping. Now landscaping can be, if they wanted to have it concrete and a little lounge table that people could go sit and, have a cup of coffee or a drink, that satisfies the ordinance too. So that's why I said I'd get with Joe to figure out what he wanted to do, whether it be just, grass or if it be something else. So it either way, it would just enhance the building and the feel and as patrons go there, if they get to wait 20, 30 minutes, have a little place to go sit down on the outside if it's a good day. So those are things that Joe and I can kind of figure out what they want to do. Which is something new that the old ordinance didn't allow. So it's a nice switch that the council finally approved and allowed to occur. So.
All right. Any other comments or discussion? If not, we can entertain a motion. And Joe, it's kind of fun because you're actually the first applicant that we've had under the new ordinance there on 1900. So you're kind of breaking ground and making history there.
When I got the first letter about the changes, I was a little worried about it, but my architect put me at ease. So.
All right, we'll go ahead and entertain a motion.
I feel pretty confident with the building department, with what they'll be able to do and work with the applicant at this. So I'm going to go ahead and recommend that we approve this is going to be 2 separate motions, I do believe. So I recommend that we approve the site plan as recommended with the comments noted in the DRC review.
Right, do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Right, thank you, Commissioner Payne. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Do we have a motion for the architectural plan?
Might as well do that one too. I move that we approve the architectural plan with the conditions as stated in the DRC comments.
Right, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Thanks for coming on, Joe. And that's definitely, like Commissioner Brand said, that's quite the improvement over the existing building there. So, and I just want to say thank you for doing business in Roy.
You bet. We love Roy. Appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
Thank you.
So we'll go on to the next item on the agenda, which is a request for the site plan and architectural approval of Roy Dental at approximately 6020 South, 3500 West. And we'll see if we have Tom on.
We got Colby, Tucker, and Nate.
All right, we got the trio.
Yeah, Tom is actually, he represents the seller on this land, so he's not involved on this side of the aisle. But yeah, we propose on this corner out in front of Winco on 6,000 South, 3,500 West to do a dental building, and got a couple of dentists already involved, and looking to get some feedback and the council's or the commission's approval on moving forward with this. As you can see, do you want me to share my screen, or are you gonna, Steve, or are you gonna go to the next?
I'll let you share.
Well, I don't know. I'm probably as inept at this as anybody, so I'm not.
I figured you'd have made Colby do it.
I probably should. He's probably better at it than I am.
No, I'm happy to help, but no, these guys we're working with on this one are great. So, I think we got a pretty straightforward project too.
Were you going to show anything different than I had in the staff report?
No.
Then I can just share mine and.
Yeah, go ahead to the site plan then. That's fine.
Okay.
So this is our site plan. We've on the two end caps, we've got some dental users. One's an orthodontist, one's a general dentist. And as you can see, we're going to have we'll enter from 6,000 South, where there's already that entrance, and and utilize the backside of the property for the parking. And if you go to the next slide, you can see the architecture we're looking at. We're still colors are not set yet, but you can see we've got a stone look with some hardy plank, as well as we have on those eaves there, you can see some a wood element there, and then some iron awnings sticking out over the other windows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's all of our elevations. So we just, like I said before, like to get some feedback and possibly get this moving forward with the commission.
Does anybody have any questions?
What's your timeline on this?
Pardon me, what did you say?
What is your timeline on this? When do you think you'll be up and running?
Well, as soon as we can get a building permit, our plan is at this point, if we can move this through to be doing construction, early to mid-June.
It looks nice. I like the building.
Right. Hearing no other questions, Steve, we'll turn it over to you for a minute.
Okay, so as mentioned, this is a request for site plan and architectural review or approval of a dental office located there at 6020 South, 3500 West, as indicated in the map. It's just in front of Winco. These pads have been there ever since Winco opened. So it's nice that we're finally getting some action down there to get some other buildings. As you see, the site plan fits within what's required. They're even keeping the only access point to the site isn't necessarily along 6,000. You do have off of 3500 West, you get to go into Winco, and also they have another one down there in Clinton to enter Vasa. So it's all accessible once you get into that parking lot, no matter where you are. Landscaping wise, they're just fitting in the theme that the site already has, keeping the landscape islands that are there and the access points from the walkway. The building itself, even though, yes, it does face the street, the parking lot where most of the entrances are, the ordinance does require addressing the street, which if you look at the elevation on the bottom, which is the west elevation, it still has a presence to the road that makes it appear, that you can access from the road, along with the northern elevation at the top. It still has a lot of windows. It still has a lot of dressing, as well as the eastern where you actually would enter the building. So it meets the aspects of the ordinance on that by addressing the road, even though you're going to enter it from the parking lot. Material wise, as I mentioned, they're still getting colors and stuff, but the materials as stated, stone, hardy plank, wood, and then the iron eaves would all meet within the ordinance itself. The iron eaves actually help with anything that's longer than 30 feet to have some sort of break or shadow pattern. So that will break up those big walls. And then also I personally like the slanted roof lines that gives it a different appeal, a different look, but still is consistent with when you look at Winco, even though it is a large building, it is a very modern type large building along with Vasa. So staff would recommend approval of both the site plan and the architecture as stated in the staff report.
Thanks, Steve. I don't have any questions. Do any of the other commissioners? Okay, I'll go ahead and entertain a motion.
I'll go ahead and recommend that we approve the site plan as stated in the staff, with the comments as stated in the staff report.
Do we have a second?
I'll second
that.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Go ahead,
I think I heard Taurus, so we'll go with that. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Do we have a second motion on this for the architectural plan?
I move that we approve the recommend approve the architectural plan with the comments as stated in the staff report.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All right, Commissioner Payne. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Are there any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Tucker, for being on here, and this will be another good addition to Roy as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate your help.
Okay, so we'll move on to the next item on our agenda, which is the Commissioner's Minute. I don't have anything in particular. Do any of the other commissioners have anything that they'd like to discuss?
No.
Not really.
Steve, one question I've had, obviously with the mask mandate and things like that lifting, is there any discussion of us going back to in-person meetings, or kind of where are we at on that?
The mayor has asked Matt Andrews, the city manager, to look into what they can start doing in order to first open, at least allow the building to be open for people to be able to come in. I think he's still concerned with the numbers that are out there for in-person, but they are very anxious as well. So like I said, the mayor has asked the administration to start looking and make a plan of how they're going to reopen everything. Now, when that will be, I don't know, but they're starting to look at that.
I know we're still in a moderate transmission, and the mask mandate's only a part of that. So I was just curious, if there was discussion there.
We're not like Weber County where the building's open.
All right. Any other items or discussion? Okay, we'll move on to item number 10, which is a staff update.
Thank you. I know the last meeting in the work session, we talked about the general plan and getting those comments done. We're still looking, I'm still talking with the contractor to get those done. So I'm hoping we have it finalized so we can talk about it on the 27th of April. If I get it done quicker, I will send it out to you. If we get it in after, please excuse me. That's why we'll probably not have a meeting unless Ryan twists my arm enough to make it anyway. But we're trying to get all those comments put into the document. So we've kind of gone through that. And then again, if you guys can go through it, even without the comments, and bring forward any concerns or anything that you'd like to re-looked at, let me know, so we can move forward. I'm hoping that we can open the building and have public meetings so we can do a real public hearing in person, maybe, like we said, a couple of them, and have an open house, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, but we'll just continue to do what we can with what we've got and move forward. Other than that, there is interest out there on 1900 West to redevelop. I've spoken to another architect firm, another piece of property along 1900. They were excited to hear that it's a mixed use ordinance and does have the ability to be a little more creative on the design. So there is interest out there.
It's a good thing, Steve.
Yep.
It's going to be fun to see what happens there.
Yep. The council, we've had one work session already with the ordinance down by the Front Runner station and the business park over there by the airport. I thought it was really productive, even though it was kind of something new for them to think about, but they knew it was coming, but hadn't really thought much about it because downtown was such a big thing to get through. But we did discuss height, where height could be, whether it be 60 or 40 or 30. And I'll bring back a map and then start going through the language of the tables, the building types, the setbacks and stuff with them in the company meetings.
Good.
Sounds good.
So there we go. And plus everything we just talked about tonight. And like most projects, Annette, they want to go as quickly as they can. So a lot of it is how quickly can they get all the comments from the DRC. Once they receive it, how quickly can they get drawings back to us to re-review? Hopefully their engineer and or architect are complete all the, the items that are on the the DRC memos. Sometimes, unfortunately, they don't do them all, so it does take 2 or 3 reviews. I think the quickest one I've ever seen was Quick Quack. I think once they got approval from the Planning Commission, they had new drawings the week later, and once they got the comments back, they were in the next day.
Remember the
Their
quick quack.
project manager,
Attorney.
yeah, their project manager was an attorney.
Yep.
And we sat down at the table and went through each item on that memo, and he would call whoever was in charge of that saying, you're getting this done today, or you're getting it done tomorrow, and gave them no ifs, ands, or buts with it. So that was the fastest I've ever seen one go. Others, unfortunately, do take a lot longer, 6 to 9 months, because their engineer takes time to bring back drawings. So
Yep.
Most of them want to get as quickly as they can, especially with good weather. Getting the site drugged and put it, stuff in the ground and getting their footings and foundation is really what they really want in the summertime and when it's good weather. So it goes quickly as they can.
Good stuff. Exciting times in Roy. It's fun to see, and it'll be interesting, like I said, to see where things go from here. And we do these things, we don't necessarily know or understand all of the impacts or how things will look, but it's I don't know. For me, it's exciting to see things moving forward and head in a different direction that we haven't seen for a while. So
yep,
I concur.
Good. Sorry, I didn't hear you, Annette.
I said I concur.
Excellent. You're really quiet tonight.
I'll turn my microphone up and anything, but that's okay. I'm under the weather today. That might be why.
Well, hopefully you get feeling better. All right. Well, on to the last item on our agenda, and we'll entertain one last motion on that.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right,
Is
we
that
have
right?
a motion to adjourn. Yes,
Oh, okay.
that's absolutely
My
correct.
phone died, so I can't see the agenda.
Uh-oh. Do we have a second?
So moved.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. We'll see you all probably in a month, because if we don't have a work session, then we'll see you in a month. But thank you for all your hard work, and I know we've done a lot the last little bit to get there, but this is exciting. So good job, everybody.
Be safe.
Bye.
all right, have a good night, everyone.